Welcome Commanders family to Command Center Game Day Live, brought to you by Northwest Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of the Washington Commanders. Northwest is celebrating Game Day and thanking Commanders fans with a $400 cash bonus. That's right, $400. But you got to open up your first ever checking account. This is a limited time offer, so do not wait. Visit northwestnwfcu.org/Washington to find out how you can score that cash bonus with your new checking account. Stop searching and go Northwest. That is right, Commanders family. We are back here at the crib at FedEx Field, set to host the Miami Dolphins for this Week 13 matchup. These views are live field cam presented by Verizon. Verizon, the network Commanders rely on. And we welcome you into Command Center Game Day Live. Brian Cole Jr. here with Brian Mitchell, Santana Moss. Fellas, you know how we start the show all the time.
Yes,
we got to talk about those memories, man. We're going to start with you, Tanner, because you missed the Miami, right?
We're going to start with me,
huh? As many fans in here as anybody else.
Yeah.
What comes to mind when you think about these matchups against the Miami Dolphins?
Well, to be honest with you, I got a good story. I have a lot of great memories about matching up against these guys, but this story I'm going to tell you is about me being a kid. Where I grew up down in Liberty City in Miami, it was a hotel literally across 79th Street. I'm talking about I used to walk to it all the time. That's where the Miami Dolphins stayed at the night before games.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I had no clue about it. I'm 6, 7 years old. I'm out in the front yard. Now, right in front of my grandmother's house, the house that I was born and raised in, it was the ramp to get on 95 South to go to the Orange Bowl Stadium. I used to see this escort every other Sunday taking this buses up this ramp, and I asked my uncle one day, who are these? Who are those people in that bus? He said, kid, that's the Miami Dolphins. And that was the day I told myself I want to do that.
Wow.
And I went in the house that day, watched the game with my dad and my uncle, and that's when I fell in love with football. I told myself I want to be a football player. So that's the memory I have. The Miami Dolphins was the first team that I watched as a kid and saw them close up, right outside my grandmother's home, that told me this is what I want to do one day.
Wow.
I say whether you play for any team, did play for the Dolphins, or any team in the NFL, you look at the fact that they went undefeated in the season.
Yeah.
And I think everybody that went to the NFL, they want to try and accomplish that feat. You know, when we were sitting at 11-0 in 1991, we were trying to chase that record.
Yes.
You know, although we did get the Super Bowl, I think there are a lot of people, every year you see them going out there drinking their champagne, toasting because nobody else can get to that record. And that's something they've done that nobody else has ever done. And I would be honest with you, that drove me my whole career. And then my brother was a Miami Dolphins fan, so anytime I saw him, I tried to kill him. Because he told me, hey, man, have a great game, but I hope y'all lose. I'm like, dude, I'm your brother. He say, I like the Dolphins, though.
A lot of family ties to the Dolphins. And, fellas, we can't bury the lead, right? There were some changes on our defensive end. Coach Jack Del Rio Coach Jack Del Rio will not be here anymore. Coach Ron Rivera will now be calling the defensive plays. And we are going to hear from Coach Rivera on calling those plays right now.
You know, part of it too is, you get into a certain rhythm with the game, and you get into a certain rhythm with the preparation. And I think that's one of the things that we did when I first got going. I met with the defensive guys separately, individually, and then I met with them as a group, and we talked about a lot of things. And then I talked about the things that I was looking for and what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do them. And then, I was going to give them the weekend off, but then I told them, I said, look, I need you guys to come in on Saturday, so let's get together. And, came in on Saturday, and they were all prepared. They had presentations ready to go, things for, all based off of what we had talked about. So, and it made that going through and looking at things and deciding and talking about a really good process. And that's kind of what I mean about having a rhythm to preparation. And so as we started transitioning on Monday in preparation for Miami, we were able to really just go into this, and everybody knew, their role and started to present, and it's been a really good rhythm.
And fellas, that was head coach Ron Rivera, and guys, it's calling those defensive plays again. That's kind of how he made his name.
Yeah.
What do you expect to see from Ron Rivera?
It's like they're going to basically they're going to run the same things they've been running.
Yeah.
I know everybody think, oh, now you got somebody different. They think everything's going to change.
Yeah.
You can't change everything. You've been practicing this stuff for 4 years.
Yeah.
So you got to stick to that. Maybe you simplify things to make sure guys can just go out there and play, react instead of thinking so much. I think before they were thinking a little bit too much.
Yeah.
But it's going to take Ron a little bit of time. Calling it in practice is one thing. In a game, in situations where people are trying to dictate to you, it's going to be a little different. He hadn't done it since 2018, I think it was. So he got to get his footing. And hopefully it can be in one game, but sometimes it takes a little longer than that.
Well, one of the things that he said that he's happy to be calling again. You know, it brings excitement, it brings joy to him. And you got to think, when you're a head coach, especially this year, Ron has gave up the, basically he's doing nothing. He's basically just overseeing the team. So you have EB doing his stuff, and you had Jack doing his, and he's the overseer. He's making sure everybody, stay in line. So now that's going to, give him put a little fire behind him to go out there and get these guys well. And just like B-Mitch talked about, it's not that they're going to be drastically different, but I think it's going to allow these guys to be in some base formations or base settings that will allow them to now go out and make a play. You know what I mean? Instead of us talking and trying to do so much that we've been doing up to this point and it's not been working, now, okay, I'm going to put you in a basic setting, and now you go and make a play and be special. And I think that's going to allow these guys to really go out there and play to their willpowers.
And B-Mitch, anytime a team makes a change like that, right, there's a lot of attention. There's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of conversation that goes into all of that. As a player, how do you silence all of that, stay focused, and go out here and get the job done?
Well, you can't handle what's going on there. Yeah. All you can do is handle your job. But in this situation, I think it's a little different. Normally you get a D coordinator go, they put somebody else at that position. But now your head coach is now taking that position. Yeah. Everybody on the team has communicated with Coach. Yeah. They know he probably is the reason that they're here. So that's going to be easy because they're going to believe in him a little bit more instead of like maybe we had a linebacker coach or a defensive back coach. Now we got him calling the defense. It's guys that never dealt with him on a regular basis that would be. But your head coach, everybody's dealt with him already.
Yeah, we all respect our offensive coordinators, our position coaches. But there's something different about that head coach, respect. Something different about that head coach being in that room with you now when it's time to study or to be on point with what he's asking you. So, you never know. You might get something different from these guys because now they have to be more alert. Yeah. They're not used to just sitting back, laying back, listening to Jack tell them the same thing over and over. When Ron's in the room, you might get a different, response from these guys. So I'm just hoping they can go out here and play with the same kind of mentality that we have as guys, covering them and watching them. Just go out there and lay it on the line. You have nothing to lose. These last few weeks, you have nothing to lose, but go out there and leave it on the field, and you never know what may come out.
There you go.
And what a team to be playing against with all these changes on the defense. Woo! We know they have Tariq Hill. We know they have Tua. We're going to get more into
talking about jumping straight to the final exam?
Don't remind us.
Damn.
This is the SAT right here. Fellas, who do you expect to be an X factor in this defense right now?
Well, I'm going to the defensive line again. Yeah. Because I believe you have to put pressure on Tua. So for me, I'm going to go with the two guys in the middle as I always do. I believe you have to live up to your height. You have to be that type of impact player. When we look on the other side of the football, Christian Wilkins is a problem. Yeah. I want Deron Payne. I want Jonathan Allen to be a problem. Your team, Alabama, went out and shook up the world last night. Let's shake up the world tonight.
Well, I had to say our linebackers today.
Yeah.
They got to earn their keep. I mean, you got to think. You got A-Chain's back. You got Moisture doing what he's been doing. And then not only that, in the passing game, these guys has been exploited week after week after week. Teams have saw early where they can go out there and exploit us in the passing game in the middle of the field because of our linebacker situation. So these guys have a huge job, a huge responsibility to make sure that they're sound in the run game and they're sound in the pass game. So both of those guys got to go out there and earn their keep today.
Anybody with speed today, use it.
Use that speed.
If you're a defensive player with speed, you better bring it all today because that team over there, probably a USA track team, believe me.
And fellas, we're going to talk more about this defense. We're going to talk more about this matchup. We're going to hear B-Mitch's Big Three, and we're going to hear from the president of Toys and Tots. But before we do that, let's keep it on the defense and send it to my guys, London Fletcher and Fred Smoot, who have the best seat in the house, brought to you by SeatGeek, the official primary ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. London and Fred, how y'all doing down there, baby?
All right, Frederick, we're out here getting ready. Yeah, I called you Frederick.
Yeah, we're back again.
We're out here getting ready to go against the most explosive offense in the National Football League. The Miami Dolphins come into FedEx.
Yeah.
What I call the non-negotiables, the things that we must get done in order to beat the Dolphins here.
First of all, it's asking the tall task of Coach Rivera to take over the DC coordinating job, put in place to stop the biggest play offense in the NFL today. And not only do they do it with the pass game with Tariq Hill, who is scary. I had a nightmare about him last night. I ain't even playing. Right. And then they got A-Chain coming back. Most of what they do and all the movement that they do on offense, can we make them earn it? Can we bend but don't break, London?
When I look at this Dolphins offense, and this Dolphins, in particular, it reminds me of when I played with the Greatest Show on
Turf.
Turf.
Very
That type of speed.
Yeah.
The teams that gave us the most problems, gave our offense the most problems, were the ones that were the most physical.
Yeah.
That disrupted the routes of our wide receivers. Because we wanted to get explosive plays.
Yeah.
We didn't want to get the dink and dunks and 5-yard plays. I can remember talking to even Mike Martz, the head coach and the architect of that offense.
Yeah.
He said, if you force us to go 5 yards, 10 yards at a time,
that ain't what they want.
we're gonna make a mistake eventually.
Yeah.
That's the same thing when I look at this Dolphins. Force them to go the
Yeah.
long road. Complementary football has to be the key. On the other side, our offense, we have to control the clock.
Yeah.
We can't try to get in the shootout in a passing game with this team. We got to control time possession. We have to be judicious with the football, no turnovers.
Well, the thing about it is you have to weaponize the run and make it twofold. Consume the clock, make Tua, make the cheetah, watch most of the game with us.
Yeah.
All right, second, what you do with that is you let the defense rest. All right, you let the defense rest, you weaponize the run game. If we can have control the clock today, we have a legit chance to win this game. And thank Lord the football gods has blessed us with a little rain. Maybe it slows them down a little bit.
Coach Gibbs used to call it Redskins.
This is Washington weather.
You know what? We do those things, and we'll come out of here with a victory.
Fellas, that was London Fletcher and Fred Smoot. And, you know, man, I might be having to call London Fletcher Hall of Fame Fletcher pretty soon.
Let's go for
London
it, baby.
Fletcher has been named by the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame as a semifinalist once again to get his well-deserved gold jacket. Fellas, we got to give him some love, man. We got to show out.
Yeah.
How do y'all feel about London Fletcher and getting this opportunity?
I think he should. You look at London and look at his amount of tackles and the things he's done in the time he was there. Nobody has had more tackles than him.
Yes.
He's been on winning teams. Okay, he's been a guy that's been a catalyst and a leader of the team. And that's what it's about. It's not about just somebody just tagged along. He led the way.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we talked about where's the bar. You know, who set the bar. So if you have to say that, okay, London is chasing Ray Lewis, well, he's right there under them. And then the guys that's under him, it's a guy to us already in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, Urlacher. So if that's the bar, he surpassed the bar, or he's right underneath the bar. And when you think about it, there has been nobody in the National Football League that have ever played, no matter how many years they played, that never missed a game. London is the only one. So you're able to accomplish everything he accomplished and still not miss a game. Hey, that's Hall of Fame in itself.
I'll say this. There are people in the Hall of Fame that when I was on teams, we game planned to run at.
Yeah.
Because we knew they were not going to hold up when we ran at them. London Fletcher, we ran away from. Okay? That tells you all you need to know right there.
Yep, and if you got any questions, look at London Fletcher versus Ray Lewis's stats, and that'll tell you everything you need to know. Well, we're going to have London Fletcher and Fred Smoot joining us later on.
All right.
You know, shout out to you guys, and that was great, man, to hear you guys give London Fletcher that love. And we're going to talk more about this defense when we get back from break with the one and only mouth of the South, Fred Smoot. Fred is going to share with us his biggest matchup he's looking for in today's game. And it's the part of the show where you have your questions answered by these legends. That's right, during the break, use the hashtag LeftHandUp in the comments for a chance to have your question answered on set by our guys Fred Smoot, B-Mitch, and Santana Moss. But before we get into that, before we head to break, let's take a look at today's most rewarding odds presented by Fanatics Sportsbook, the most rewarding sportsbook. Now we have the Washington Commanders are 8.5-point underdogs with the money line at plus 350 and the over-under set at 49.5 points. Now, Commanders family, we're just getting started here on Command Center Game Day Live, presented by Northwest Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of the Washington Commanders. It's the only Commanders pregame show which has your field pass to the action. And we will not let you miss a moment, even during this commercial break, so stick right with us.
Dad, we're gonna be late.
Can't stop adding stuff to your cart? Get the Bank of America customized cash rewards card. Choose the online shopping category and earn 3% cash back.
The final stone of the championship.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary.
Well, Roger, this is looking good.
We believe every moment in sports should be epic.
Is that curling? No.
This morning's news, curling fever has taken over the world.
So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Toyota-thon is on. Now's the time to get an exciting new Toyota. Like Camry Hybrid, RAV4, Tundra, and more.
How did you...
Magic.
Buy a rugged Tacoma with special financing as low as 3.99%. Or go with the Tundra and take up to $1,000 Toyota finance cash.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
VetTix secures unused event tickets to give back to the military and veteran community. The mission? To strengthen family bonds, build lifelong memories, and encourage service members and vets to stay engaged in their community. Giving out over 15 million tickets since 2008, VetTix continues to give something to those who gave. To find out how you can help give once-in-a-lifetime experiences to our veterans, service members, and their families, visit vettix.org today.
Oh, game's on. We need more chips. More dip, too.
More?
Yes, more. Oh, that reminds me. We can still score that $400 bonus from Northwest if we hurry. It's with your first ever checking account.
$400? That's the kind of more I like.
Then let's do it. But first, more chips.
To earn bonus, open first ever checking account and deposit at least $500 in ACH or direct deposits per month within the first 90 days. Limited time offers subject to change without notice. Details at nwfcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
Back. The winter play was really coming together. Until disaster struck. Tensions were high. Luckily, replacement costumes were shipped with FedEx, which means Mr. Harvey could picture the perfect night. We're delivering more happy for the holidays.
Have fun, sis.
Can't stop adding stuff to your cart? Get the Bank of America customized cash rewards card. Choose the online shopping category and earn 3% cash back.
Welcome back, Commanders family. It's Command Center Game Day Live, presented by Northwest Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of the Washington Commanders. Here is a live look out at FedEx Field right now. Our live field cameras presented by Verizon. Verizon, the network Commanders rely on, and it looks like a beautiful day out here at FedEx Field. So let's go right into today's Game Day forecast, presented by NBC4. We are working for you. Now, fellas, the high say it's 61. I don't believe that for a second. The low is 46. I don't believe that for a second either. I'm a little
61 is right.
You see, I got the big winter coat on.
You know me. I got to stay
You're a Cali boy. You cold, man.
Now, it's 90% chance of precipitation with windy about 4. Not as windy as it normally is. And we have a very special guest, Brian Colbert Jr. here. We are Mitchell Santana Moss. And we have the USMC Lieutenant General Jim Laster, President and CEO of the Marines Toys for Tots Foundation. Sir, thank you so much for joining the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, and thank you so much for having me here.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for doing what you do.
For sure, man.
Mr. Tot himself, he said.
Yeah.
Just call him Mr. Tot.
Mr. Tot. Now, sir, I have to ask you, why is Toys for Tots so important, and what got you involved?
Well, I tell you, we're coming up on our 76th anniversary.
Wow.
And it all happened in 1947 when a group of Marines in Los Angeles wanted to do something for children in need. And of course, this is right after World War II, so this is right after World War II, and there are many war orphans. And so they went out and they collected toys and books, and then on Christmas morning, 1947, they got into their dress blues, and they went out and they distributed those toys and books. And since then, the program has taken off.
That's amazing.
And this past year, we had our best year ever. We reached over 10 million children.
Oh,
wow. You
That's
know,
amazing.
I was just talking to him earlier, and I told him, when I look at the holidays, I look at Thanksgiving and Christmas as those days where everyone should get something to eat.
Yeah.
You know, should get it every day, but, you know, especially on that day. And then when you look at kids opening up a gift, the thing, what it could do for them and how it could change lives and make them feel important, I think it's probably the best thing. And I listen, I support you all.
Commend you guys.
I was at the event Friday, and I've been doing it forever and will never stop.
I'm a giver myself, and I know the gratification I get from just being able to be there for people. I can just imagine what you guys have. You say over 70-something years doing this, so, you know, I can just imagine what you guys feel just knowing that you made those kids' life with that. I mean, you know, I mean, one gift can change their whole perspective. So, oh man, I'm you know what? I'm glad that we are able to be helpful and lend a hand at the same time doing what you guys do so well.
Thank you so much. It brings hope, happiness, and joy to children.
Yeah.
And that's really what it's about. And something else I want you guys to know is we used to be known just as a Christmas time charity, but a few years ago I've opened up the aperture.
Wow.
And I decided, you know, kids don't stop being in need after Christmas.
Yes, sir.
And so we have a foster child program that's year-round now. We have a literacy program that's year-round. I mean, we distributed over 6 million books last year.
Wow.
Mainly to Title I schools and other children in need. And so we're doing a lot of good stuff, but we can't do it without the generosity and the volunteerism. We have 50,000 civilian volunteers nationwide.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And so thank you so much for your support.
No doubt. Well,
yeah, we were unpacking some U-Hauls on Friday. It was fun, though. I had fun with it. It was cool.
Well, thank you so much for your service, sir.
No
and
doubt.
why is it so important to be able to partner with a team like the Washington Commanders?
I'll tell you, the Washington Commanders have been great. They actually reached out to us. And, you know, we're always looking for corporate sponsors and people to help us and get our brand out there. They saw what we were doing and how important it was. Yeah. And so they reached out to us and said, hey, we would like to adopt you, you know, as one of our charities. And so I said, I'm there.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and just think about it. We bring joy and hope to children. You know, football is magic.
Yeah.
And it also brings joy and hope to children.
Yeah.
And so for us to be connected with a team like the Commanders just helps get our brand out there, helps us and assist us in accomplishing our mission.
Yes, sir. And before we let you go, sir, can you tell the people how they can give back, especially if they are here at FedEx Field, because we have boxes around with people
all
need
over
toys.
the
Can you tell people how they can give back and help out?
The best way is just to donate a brand new unwrapped toy, and we need it to be unwrapped so we know the age bracket for the child.
For sure.
But the other way to do it is just to go on our website, toysfortots.org, and make a monetary donation. And then finally, just to volunteer like you guys have.
Yeah.
Volunteer your time to help a child.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Well,
amazing.
Well, the whole crew, they got a chance to get into the holiday spirit and give back some toys as well. Let's check it out right now.
Thank you.
Shout out to Fred for getting us fired up for game day. And fellas, while we cool down, we have to talk about our annual toy collection. That's right, at FedEx Field, you will be able to donate unwrapped toys and cash to give to the less fortunate. And in the spirit of that and the spirit of giving, I have Smoother Claws here with me with one of the boxes you will find at FedEx Field. And you know what? This brother's so kind and generous, he brought gifts for each
all of
and
our
all of
analysts.
y'all.
Fred, take it away.
And you know what? I was always told it's not the gift, it's the thought behind the gift.
Hey, don't you be giving people like blank Christmas gifts and
I do.
stuff?
Cards with no money on them. Gift cards. This gift.
Oh, okay.
The volcano that you had to put together because you are a nerd. All right? This goes to you, my friend, because boy, you never travel. All right? So if you ever go see a volcano, you can see it right there. And you know what? You study too much film, brother. You have to lay off the film. It's becoming an addiction.
Fred, thank you so much, man. It's very
You're welcome,
thoughtful.
brother.
Oh my God. I'm scared to see it.
For you, my friend, Mr. Speedy Gonzalez. You are. This right here simplifies who you are.
Hey, man.
Put the foot to the pedal to the metal at all times.
And you knew Real's my favorite
I
color
knew
too.
that,
see?
brother.
Oh,
that was actually nice.
I love to get it excited. They like, yeah.
Last but not least, for my compadre, 3 different things. Usually, when you hit people, the fire truck had to come and save them. All right? Usually, you never played like the garbage truck. Right? That's why you got a chance to get to where you're going. And now you got a one-way bus ticket to the Hall of Fame. Now I'd like to put them back in there. And as you see our guys putting these toys in the box, you can come to FedEx Field this Sunday and donate toys or cash to Toys for Tots. Until next time, we'll be back Thursday on Command Center. Yep. Smoother Claws might be with us. Until next time, we'll see y'all. Peace out.
Why's Fred so sweaty?
Because it's Tots for kids. Because it's infant holiday.
Smooth. Moot Claus.
Ready to be loud. Can't help yourself, huh?
Giving out toys to the less fortunate, friend. Why you such a nice guy?
Man, at the end of the day, man, that's what the holidays is about.
Yeah.
As we get older, I'd rather see a smile than receive one for as me getting a gift. So I think that's the big thing of it. As we grow, we understand what really matters.
Amen to that. Amen. You know, since we have you here, let's get right into this defensive discussion. Now, I'm going to start with you. On Command Center, we talked about the battle between Ron Rivera and Mike McDaniel, that matchup.
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit like you did on Command Center.
Well, you got the mad scientist against the old chisel vet.
Yeah.
I think what Coach Rivera is going to do, because he had a short week to put this in, he's going to keep everything simple so they can play fast and give them assignment, football, and cross those T's and dot those I's. Because we know between A-Train, the Cheetah, Water, these guys can come up missing like a fart in a hurricane. Right? So at the end of the day, you have to be on your P's and Q's when you playing this team. The question is, can you disrupt them?
Yeah.
The teams that beat them, they got up there, they pressed these guys, they played cover two, they bend but don't break. Make them kick field goals today, can't give up the big play.
All right, and you heard the pass. He talked about Waddle. He talked about Hill. How do we not let them get lost like a fart in a hurricane? How does our secondary step up and stop that from happening?
I don't know. I'll be totally honest with you. One thing about it is just having sound. When you go out there, you make sure your fundamentals.
Yeah.
Make sure you know your assignments. Right. What they've been doing throughout the year, they are back there, and I don't ever like seeing defensive backs communicating when the ball is being snapped.
Now, it's too late then.
It's too late.
Yeah.
So Ron, as he said, they're going to simplify things so they will know what they're doing as soon as they line up. And then if you act like that, then you get to a point where you don't have the miscommunication, where guys are running free. That's what the Miami is going to do, all types of crossing things
motion,
to try to get you confused.
Yeah.
If guys have a simple assignment where they line up and they keep an area, then they won't allow all those big plays like that.
Well, they just got to go out there and play football. I mean, one of the things that's on our side today is it's a little wet.
Yeah.
So
football guys have shined upon us.
When you have a team like these guys with all these guys running sub 4.2s, you know what I mean, when it comes to that skill position guys, then now they have to go out there and put in those long studs because, you know, our field has been known to be one of those fields we don't have great traction out here.
Yeah.
They have to be mindful of that. So that's already on our side. But then on the other side of it, man, who cares? Who cares about how fast they is? Who cares about how many points they put up?
Yeah.
Man to man, you got to go out there and do your job. So, as a defensive back, I might not want that matchup, and I might not want to be left on the island, but I believe that, you know, defensively, Ron understands what he's seen thus far in our defense. Where are we losing things at? Where are we being lost at? And simplifying it is going to be key, but at the same time, just making sure that we in a coverage where we can attack. Where we can be the dictator, where we can be the guys that at the end of it, we're not sitting out there saying, well, I thought you had it.
Well, the great thing, Tanner, we might not have to attack because we're talking about a quarterback in Tua who's basically a mannequin. He's going to be standing up in the pocket. You know where he's going to be at when you walk in the mall. Now, the thing about it is, where's our best players? That's in the A and the B gap. John Allen and Payne. That gives us the edge right there. So we have some matchups that favor us. The thing about it is that allows us to play cover 2, cover 4, and 2-man. Meaning we can turn our back to him. That's how you take out a Tyreek Hill, 2 people on him.
Well, especially when you turn your back to them, making sure you're putting your hands on those receivers and disrupt them a little bit. Slow them down, because now when you slow them down, Tua can't set his feet and throw the ball. That's what he wants to do. When he has to reload, now we have him in our wheelhouse. You know what I mean? Now we can get out to him and make him uncomfortable because Tua want to drop back and get rid of it right now.
The game we saw earlier this year, Kansas City playing them in Germany.
Press cut.
Lined up out there.
Every day in practice.
Every day in practice.
When you're chasing a sports car, make them make turns. Make them stop and start. But if you give them free release, you're asking to be on ESPN. Who got mouse?
And we do not want that
We
at
don't
all.
want that.
And we talked about Tua a little bit. You said you called him a mannequin. What do we expect to see from a player like Tua? We've seen some tough quarterbacks. Now we got to see Tua. He's getting it off this year.
Well, what he's doing is getting the ball out of his hand in under 2 seconds. So he's getting the ball out quick. The quick game is what really does. This thing is meshed with the West Coast. So this is a yak team. They'll run after the catch type team. That's why you got to get up there and press them guys. Make him go from one read to his second read. And now Tua starts to not look like Tua. So I think you got to disrupt these guys and understand who you're dealing with.
Yeah, it's crazy. A few years ago, when Mike McDaniel was coming here, they was questioning Tua. Oh, you know, Mike McDaniel's coming to offense. Yeah, he inherited, Tua. Is Tua an
made it
NFL
better.
quarterback?
Yeah.
Well, I guess he answered that already for you.
Yeah.
But not only did he answer it, the offense answered it. Mike brought in the offense. Mike McDaniels brought in the offense that he knows that, hey, if we get the ball out in a timely fashion, then we don't have to worry about questioning him. They talk about, is his arm strong enough? Well, he answered that too. Because you don't have to throw it down the field all the time. But when you do, if you get to your step in a timely fashion and put it up, now you have time to get it down there. So I think Tua answered all those questions, but at the same time, one of the things that we've been seeing over time, when you play these guys a little tighter outside, now you see the Tua before Mike McDaniels got here. You see the guy that has to hold on to that ball, and when he holds on to the ball, he's not a great scrambler. No, he's not a guy that want to be in that situation. That's when we can attack him, and that's when we can be efficient at.
But forget about Tua. They have A-Chain in the backfield.
They
have Mostert in the backfield. And they are going to attack where we've been weak at, on the edges. They love attacking the edges, and they have guys that if that gap opens, they can get through it and go. So we're going to have to make sure we secure the edges with the running game.
Well, Bemis, let's stick on that running game real quick. Because Fred Smoot prayed for bad weather, and we got it. He wanted that bad weather. You've been a running back before. Man, how does a field like this in this kind of weather affect you as a player?
Well, for me, I think it affects the player. You have to slow down this San Stadium. But the defense has to slow down too. I know where I'm going. They don't know where they're going. So that little head fake, I throw it, they try to go for it and they're out of control, they slide. I don't have a hole. So they're going to have to make sure they keep their feet. As Coach Gibbs always said, make sure you have the right spikes in.
Mitch, can I ask you this? Does it slow a running back down when he has to think about holding the ball in wet weather? Like the one thing I always notice about running backs, when they start to overemphasize on holding the ball and keeping the ball secure, sometimes that slows them down just a tad bit.
It does because a lot of guys in the wet weather, they want to run holding the ball like this. You can't run like this. You were taught to run pump. So if you pump and then when you get into the action, just bring your hand in, you can do it the same way. But guys will be worried. And if somebody happens to fumble early, it could be you. I'm worried now. I've seen it happen. So the first fumble that pops out of there, people will be worried about it.
Hey, Fred, always a pleasure to have you on. Before we let you go, since you're the people's champ, we got to hear from the fans. You've heard us doing Left Hand Up before, right?
Yeah, I did.
All right, so now it's time for a special delivery presented by Grubhub. Don't forget to order your ultimate game day spread using the Grubhub QR code. No fees will be applied. And you know what? We're in the future now, right? We don't got to.
A fan named Steve gave me.
Did somebody just throw that at you?
He said he made it 100 years ago, and he wanted to give it to me. So shout out to Steve. I know it ain't no 2-7 on the field, but let's go.
Let's go. And we got our Grubhub bag delivered by our intern, Caroline. We're going to keep it up. They told me to hold it up and yelled at me to hold it up. So this is our question for Left Hand Up. Who is your offensive X Factor? B. Mitch, I'm going to start with you.
My offensive X Factor today is going to be basically Brian Robinson and Eric Bieniemy sticking to it. Because I think a good running game today will give you what you need. What you want to do with a team like the Miami Dolphins, make them have to play from behind. Make them become even more aggressive to where now you can pick off balls. You can get to their quarterback. Make them more one-dimensional. So if you can have long, sustained drive with a touchdown at the end, that puts the pressure on their side.
My X Factor is going to go to the offensive line. I think they have a huge task in just making sure that we can do both. We can coexist in the run game and the passing game. You know, it's one thing to keeping, Sam upright, but the other is getting our run game established. I think what we've seen over the past few weeks, EB is starting to say, hey, I can run this ball a little more now because we're doing some things up front. So in order for us to possess the ball as much as we should, because we want to keep those guys on the sideline cold and on ice, we have to be efficient up front. And if those guys are efficient up front where we can run the ball when we want, we can pass the ball when we want, hey, we're going to be in this ball game.
Yes, sir.
I think we're going to have to also pass the ball. And everybody looking at that big matchup with Jalen Ramsey and Terry McLaurin. And then on the other side, you got Dotson against Xavier Howard. I'm going to say the guy that got something to say about that is Logan Thomas. Look at this weather out here. This is a tight ends day right here. And they do got good safeties with holding them. But I think if Logan Thomas can have an 8-catch, 7-catch day, they have a chance to win this game because he's the biggest body on the field.
So you mean to tell me I got to go back and get Logan and put him on my fantasy?
Yes, you do. I don't know what you're doing. You should have seen this weather, Tanner.
You should have told me earlier, man.
You should have seen this weather. It's tight ends weather.
See, you don't just get your fans' question answered. You get fantasy advice, too, with Fred Smoot in the building. Fred, thank you so much for joining us and having this discussion. We're going to talk more. We're going to talk about B. Mitch's Big Three. We're going to talk about this offense. But first, for Commanders family, for y'all season ticket holders, we got something special for you. That's That's right. Join the ranks of the 2024 Commanders season ticket members now. Guarantee your place at FedEx Field for the 2024 season for just $50 when you place a deposit at Commanders. Season tickets includes tons of benefits like year-round events just for you and 50% off of your game day concessions. Y'all know y'all love that food. To discover more and secure your spot in 2024, visit commanders.com/deposits. Now we're about to hit the break, and when we come back from this short break, it's all about our quarterback Sam Howell and this Commanders offense. We're talking about the young Airwolf and the task he has facing this Dolphins defense. And I sat down with our rookie running back, Chris Rodriguez, this week, our next man up, to talk about everything that makes him a special player. That's all coming up when we get back, so stay tuned to Command Center Game Day Live, presented by Northwest Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of the Washington Commanders. It's the only Commanders pregame show, which has your field pass to the action. We will not let you miss a moment, even during this commercial break, so stick with us.
The most rewarding sportsbook is here. With Fanatic Sportsbook, you can earn fan cash back on every bet you make. 5% on same-game parlays, 3% on parlays, 1% on straight bets. You can spend fan cash on jerseys, hats, bonus bets, and more. So win or lose, you always get something back. Welcome to the most rewarding sportsbook. Start earning fan cash now.
Everyone deserves a crown. The hottest new addition to the Toyota lineup. With distinct styling, the newest Toyota tech, and exhilarating performance of an all-wheel drive hybrid. With available turbocharged power. And like all Toyotas, Crown comes with a no-cost maintenance plan. Toyota, let's go places.
Oh, game's on. We need more chips. More dip, too.
More?
Yes, more. Oh, that reminds me. We can still score that $400 bonus from Northwest if we hurry. It's with your first ever checking account.
$400? That's the kind of more I like.
Then let's do it. But first, more chips.
To earn bonus, open first ever checking account and deposit at least $500 in ACH or direct deposits per month within the first 90 days. Limited time offers subject to change without notice. Details at nwfcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
Grab me one too.
Stone of the championship.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary.
Roger, this is looking good.
We believe every moment in sports should be epic. Is that curling? No.
This morning's news, curling fever has taken over the world.
So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Welcome back, Commanders family. It's Command Center Game Day Live, presented by Northwest Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of the Washington Commanders. Welcome back, Commanders family. Brian Coleman Jr. here with Brian Mitchell, Santana Moss. And fellas, We're going to talk this offense, but first,
we
got to gear up for kickoff since it's a little chilly. This is your gear up for kickoff presented by Fanatics, and we have these Commanders beanies available.
I like these
these
things,
are
man.
the item of the game. $17.99. Now, they brought us here for us because it's cold. My head's cold. I don't know how you feeling, Tanner. Beeman said it's not cold.
I stay cold. You already know that.
Now, again, y'all can get this from the fan shop, and this will be discounted. Right now, it is at $17.99. You cannot beat a deal like that, and you need to get it because winter time is coming.
Yeah.
Now, fellas, speaking of winter time, now, Beeman, you said it's not that cold.
No.
How did you gear up for cold weather back in the day?
Well, I didn't wear sleeves. I came in the first year. Monty Coleman made sure I didn't wear sleeves, kind of cut them off of me.
Wow.
And then I got used to dealing with it. But the whole thing for me was, when you got out there on the field, it was mind over matter.
Yeah.
You got to just psych yourself out. But then the invention of the heated benches came.
Yeah.
So if you sit on the bench or you're on the sideline, you're good. Yeah. When you're on the field, you don't need to worry about anything because you're gonna get warmed up by the way you play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You already know.
I'm about to say, I'm looking at you because I already know.
I was bundled up. Look, trust me, I had a routine. When it was cold, trust me, when I came outside and I knew it was going to be a cold day, I said, all right, well, I already wore sleeves, but now I have to change the sleeves. Now I have to wear those sleeves that have a fleece inside of them so I can, keep all the warmth inside. So not only keeping the warmth inside, I would put on this special kind of cream that they had that basically held on to my heat. I'm talking about I would lather myself up in this stuff. I would put on that. I hated tights. I didn't want to never wear tights underneath those tight behind pants. So what I would do is put on that stuff on my legs to make sure that at least the seat area, the back of my hamstrings, my quads, all that was good. And then my socks was just regular on the outside. But the main thing I've learned about being in the cold, it's about your feet and your hands.
Yes.
So I had those heat warmers in my shoe, and I had on gloves also with heat warmers around my waist. So trust me, man, I was bundled up at all times.
You see how I am right now. I am bundled up. I got hand warmers right under this chest.
Florida.
Miami. Listen, we from nice weather.
The bottom of it.
We're not from this dreary weather right here, but you know what? You can take a live look right now. Our Commanders just ran out onto the field. They are in those all burgundy unis, getting ready to bear this weather. It's a little foggy out here, but we are ready for some football. So, fellas, I got two offensive studs here with me.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this offense. Now, it's been a little rough stretch the past few games for our offense.
Yeah.
How do we bounce back? We've seen Sam Howell bounce back. We talked about it before. How do we see this team bounce back against the Miami Dolphins?
Well, you look at the games they had the problems in. They turned the ball over. They had the untimely penalties, and I'll discuss that later on. If you go out there and you don't turn over the ball, and you don't have penalties in scoring situations, all of a sudden you see that you're in the game. Listen, everybody out here is a professional athlete.
Yeah.
No team has really much more talent than the other. Some teams just make less mistakes.
Yes.
Some other teams are a little bit more consistent. So if Washington could go out there today and be more of a team that goes out there and don't turn the ball over, don't help the other team, they have a chance.
I mean, when you look at some of the things that's been transpiring around here with our team as a whole, you would say our offense isn't doing anything. And that's not the case.
Yeah.
If you look at the stats and you say, well, dang, we had the ball longer on offense.
Yeah.
But you don't have the points to show it. So
True.
I think what be key now is we could continue to have that kind of style of play, possess the football, finding ways to run the ball like I talked about before and pass it. We can pass the ball very well, but with these conditions, it might be one of those days. But if we can find a way to run the ball well, possess the ball, hold on to the ball, but now finish, put up some kind of points. I think when it comes to a team like the Dolphins, you have to almost come into with the mindset, I got to go blow for blow. Yes. Offensively. Yeah. I have to make sure that every time I get out there on the field, I'm throwing the first punch. I can't allow them to go up there 3-4 punches ahead of me because now we're in trouble. So I think our offense must find a way to run the ball today. I'm not saying we need to hand it off a zillion times, but like I said before, coexist with what we do well, and that's passing the ball. And then now that gives us a chance to lead again and possessing the football. And when you have a team like the Dolphins that loves to go out there and run it up, when they're on that sideline cold, trust me, we've both been on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
It's hard to come off a bench, especially in a dreary day like this, and go out there and be warm and be lathered and be ready to go. So if we can do some of those things, we have them in our wheelhouse, and we be able to go out there and dictate what we want to do, offensively and defensively.
And Ted, I'm going to stick with you because our receivers are definitely going to have to stay warm because they're going against possibly the best secondary in football, right? Tanner, you've been there before. You've been against these tough matchups, these Jalen Ramseys that you have to see. What do you expect from our receivers today, and how can we make some of their weaknesses show up today?
Well, when you have a guy like Jalen Ramsey, he's exceptional well. you know what his strengths, you know what his weaknesses. I think one of the things he does well is he plays with what he has, and that's been aggressive. He's an aggressive style corner. He's a corner that he might not want to see me, because I'm a little guy. I'm a little quick twitch guy, so I'm going to run him all day, no matter what type of the weather is. So, you know, guys like him, even though he's one of the elite corners, he coming to this game knowing that, I got Terry, I got a dog. I got a guy, it don't matter what he does, he just does it well. Then I got Jahan. If he's over here on me, this guy can route up anybody in a phone book, and he could come out of the break and catch the ball. So those guys also have long nights thinking about guys like who we have. And then you have a guy in Curtis Samuel. He's a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
He's a guy that you just don't want to be lined up in front of or across from at no time, because you don't know if you're getting a handoff, you don't know if you're getting a reverse, you don't know if you're getting a pass down the field. So we have the guys that can do well against guys like him. And then you have a guy, Xavier Howard, on the other side of him, that he plays the ball well as too. He's a guy, he's in between. I never known what I'm going to get from him, because he have a year where he's just been dynamic. He had those quiet years like this year, and you have one pick coming into this game. But I think collectively in that secondary, they play well because of what they do up front. So with all that being said, I think we just got to go out there and take our chances. There's going to be opportunities where we can take those shots downfield. We need to come up big with them. We've seen plenty of times where Sam threw the ball up downfield, but maybe he misfired, or maybe the wide receiver didn't run the route well. We can't have those mishaps today.
Not today.
We have to be on point, because when they take advantage of opportunities, it can cost you. And those guys going the other way with the ball. We saw what happened in that Jet game.
Yeah.
They threw a Hail Mary up before the half, and before you know it, it was a touchdown.
The other way.
We can't have those kind of, you know, opportunities taken away from us. We have to make sure we capitalize every time we get a chance to.
And what I like about this game, Jalen Ramsey, as Tanner just stated, very physical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very aggressive. And you know who likes that type of game? Terry.
Yeah.
That's when he plays his best
Don't
game.
shy away
When
at all.
someone wants to yak and begin to do things to him, he just quietly goes about his business and shuts him up.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like that challenge.
Yeah.
For some other receivers, I might not. But for Terry, I love it.
But you know, guys like Ramsey will respect a guy like Terry.
Yes.
You know, I remember playing in this league, and it was guys I had to get ready for. Like, you got the Richard Sherman. You know, you got the D'Angelo Hall. Before Richard Sherman, it was D'Angelo Hall. Ain't much younger. So, you know, when a younger guy playing a guy that's a veteran that he's watched and looked up to, he want to come and bring his stuff.
Yeah.
And I had my mind made out on when D Hall say something to me, we gonna fight. That's how I came to the game. And the first thing me and D Hall said, he said, "What's up, bro? I like your game." So I looked, I'm like, oh, that's that type of game. But don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe, like I tell you always. Because normally they try to get you out of your mindset and say, let me lure him and think I'm his friend, so now I can go and lock him up. So you got to play devil's advocate with these guys, because some of these guys, like a Ramsey, is going to respect you, but they're trying to get you to be nice, because they know you can be deadly as well.
Fellas, you guys both mentioned that run game. And somebody that's really been kind of showing up in that run game is our rookie, Chris Rodriguez. Now, we're going to send it to his interview, but real quick, we want the guys to take you guys at a live field, because look at it. The guys are out there. They're stretching, man. It's so good to turn around. And what you can see, too, on the screen, if you can, these guys are wearing their custom cleats, the My Cause, My Cleats, because
That's
they are
probably one of the best
representing.
things the NFL
That
ever
is
did.
so cool,
That's
man.
dope.
It's representing things that are personal to them. It's showing their interest off the field. Now, this is your live cam brought to you by Verizon. Again, My Cause, My Cleats. So cool to see our guys in those custom cleats. And another cool thing I got to do was talk to our rookie running back, Chris Rodriguez. So let's take a look at that. It is time for our Never Ordinary interview with Chris Rodriguez, presented by Bet365. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's Never Ordinary at Bet365. What makes Chris Rodriguez never ordinary?
Man, for me, I would say, I was the first one in my family to go to college. On time. And then not only was I the first one to go, but I was the first one, obviously, to graduate. I got a lot of cousins and younger nieces and nephews that really look up to me. So to do that, I feel like it makes me unordinary.
Yeah. So being that first, right? There's a lot of pressure that comes with that. But when you said it, you smile and say, I'm the first. You're the one that everybody's looking up to. How important is that to be a good example for not only your family and the young people from your family, but these people from your neighborhood?
Yeah, man. That was one of those things for me. It was like, I got to do it. Like, I made it here. I can't just make it here and then, not finish. Like, that's one of the reasons I didn't come out after my senior year. That's when I took that next year. It was just like, I have to do it. Like, I have my nieces and nephews that's watching over me, or not watching over me, but looking up to me.
Yeah.
and they're expecting me to do big things. And that's one of the things that me and my mom talked about. She was like, yo, get that degree.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So doing that, I extremely grateful for it.
Yeah, and another thing that's never ordinary is, you know, you're a pretty big dude, but you said you started playing center when you started playing football and then fullback.
Yep.
What has doing that and being on the blocking side of things, how has that helped you have a little more appreciation as a running back today?
Man, it's tough.
Yeah.
You know, especially as a center. Like, even though I was young, it's tough. Like, the centers that you have to know a lot of stuff, you know, even, you know, you're young, block left, block right, snap the ball, block left, block right. It's hard, you know what I'm saying, to be able to snap, look up, do that stuff, like do different stuff.
Yeah.
It's tough. But not only that, but when I got older in middle school, it's like, yo, I'm playing fullback. I got to block moving targets now, you know what I'm saying? And it was hard, but, you know, they can do it, you know what I'm saying? So it helped me, like, improve my game on my physicalness, you know what I'm saying? Because I was a running back, but it helped me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially with protection and stuff.
Well, man, it definitely helped your physicality, man. It's been great seeing you out there running that ball, man. We can't wait to see you continue to progress as a running back the rest of the season.
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
Chris.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. It was so great getting to talk to rookie Chris Rodriguez, and it's crazy the things that these young men go through to be where they're at in their career. If you want to see the full episode, check it out on the Commanders YouTube page. And Commanders family, we have more in store for you right after this break. That's right, Hall of Fame semifinalists. I love saying that. Hall of Fame semifinalist London Fletcher will be joining us to set the tone. So stay tuned to Command Center Game Day Live, presented by Northwest Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of the Washington Commanders. It's the only, that is right, people, the only Commanders pregame show, which has your field pass to the action. We will not let you miss a moment, even during this commercial break, so stick with us.
Go by quickly? Football goes by quickly. So cherish every rush, pass, and rush pass turn. Pick six! With instant withdrawals on FanDuel if you win. Because holiday football won't last forever. And soon it'll just be March.
Bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if your team wins. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
VetTix secures unused event tickets to give back to the military and veteran community. The mission? To strengthen family bonds, build lifelong memories, and encourage service members and vets to stay engaged in their community. Giving out over 15 million tickets since 2008, VetTix continues to give something to those who gave. To find out how you can help give once-in-a-lifetime experiences to our veterans, service members, and their families, visit vettix.org today.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception? First down? Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Oh, game's on. We need more chips. More dip, too.
More?
Yes, more. Oh, that reminds me. We can still score that $400 bonus from Northwest if we hurry. It's with your first ever checking account.
$400? That's the kind of more I like.
Then let's do it. But first, more chips.
To earn bonus, open first ever checking account and deposit at least $500 in ACH or direct deposits per month within the first 90 days. Limited time offers subject to change without notice. Details at nwfcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
The most rewarding sportsbook is here. With Fanatic Sportsbook, you can earn fan cash back on every bet you make. 5% on same-game parlays, 3% on parlays, 1% on straight bets. You can spend fan cash on jerseys, hats, bonus bets, and more. So win or lose, you always get something back. Welcome to the most rewarding sports book. Start earning fan cash now.
Welcome back, Commanders family, to Command Center Game Day Live, presented by Northwest Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of the Washington Commanders. You are seeing live views from the sideline out at FedEx Field, brought to you by Verizon. Verizon, the network Commanders rely on. Brian Cole Jr. here with Brian Mitchell, Santana Moss, and if I could call you this, the future Hall of Famer,
in the air.
London Fletcher.
Put
I
it
just
in the air.
want to
Speak it
blow
to
that
existence.
good vibes
Gotta
in
put it
there.
in the air, man.
Gotta speak it into existence. We've been doing nothing but showing you love, London. Tell us how it feels to be honored like that as a semifinalist.
Man, you know what? It's great, and I know B. Mitch can attest to that, having made it to that same stage. And you know, it's really about while you're playing, you don't think about, hey, I'm trying to make it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. You're just trying to be the best player you can for your teammates, for yourself, and try to help your organization win ball games. But once it's all said and done and it's over, now you get to kind of look back and say, man, I kind of was a bad boy.
And London, you know what? I'm glad you're getting your love, because out here in this building, you are already a Hall of Famer to so many people.
Straight up and down.
How does it feel to be revered by these fans and loved by a place you gave your blood, sweat, and tears to?
Man, you know, I know Tanner and B. Mitch, every time we come into this stadium, the amount of fans that just continue to show us love. And as I was coming in today, several people that work here, fans, just congratulating me on getting into this stage, and also saying, hey, we're pulling for you and all those types of things. So it feels great.
Man, that's awesome, man. It's well-deserved. So, okay, I got to get into this read. But before I get into this read, you do something on the Command Center show. You set the tone. Can I get that line you get where it's time to set the tone? Before I get into this read, I need some.
I got you. It's time to set the tone.
Let's hear what we need to do to play fast against the Dolphins today. It's time to play fast, win fast. Brought to you by the Maryland Lottery. Fast play games. Play fast, win fast today, but please play responsibly. Now, London, we talked about defense already, but you're the defensive guy, man, so we got to get you in on this.
Right.
First things first, what does our defense need to do today to slow down such a dynamic offense?
Well, when you look at the Dolphins offense, explosive offense, a lot of misdirection, shifts, motions, things that kind of mess with your eyes, eye discipline is going to have to be key. Because they run the ball so well, play action pass, they lead the National Football League in play action. If we're playing zone, getting depth on those drops. And I look at it like this. This has to be kind of a bend, don't break mentality defensively. You can let them move the ball between the 20s, but when you get into the red zone,
make them play.
Force them to kick field goals, things like that. Ron has an advantage because they don't know what type of defense he's going to call, how aggressive he's going to be. I went back and looked at his stuff from 2019. You saw more safety blitzes from him, illusions of pressure, kind of things like that. Let's see what kind of scheme he dials up, but I'm looking at them as trying to play bend, don't break type of defense.
And B. Mitch earlier mentioned the linebackers and how important their game is today against this running game.
Yeah.
Talk about the linebackers a little bit. Jamin Davis, Cody Barton. What do they need to do to slow down this run game?
They're going to be challenged, definitely. And it's going to be on the perimeter, outside the edges. We have to be stout on our edges from a defense standpoint, cracking plays, stuff like that. But as linebackers, you got to be able to run. You got to be ready to run sideline to sideline. This is going to be an all-day affair.
Those guys love to stretch it and then cut back. So, I mean,
and when they cut.
Oh, yeah.
Downhill.
and they can run.
And I was talking to the Dolphins running back coach, A-Chain. He's a 10-1, 100-meter guy.
Yes.
Oh, no, he can fly now.
He can fly.
And he's not a track guy playing football. He's a football guy that can
like
run.
Bully Bob Hayes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how he is.
Yes.
And we talked about Tua a lot earlier as well. Now, Tua had 2 interceptions in the last game. How can we make him uncomfortable and force some of those same mistakes?
Well, as far as making Tua uncomfortable, I think you got to make his receivers uncomfortable.
Bingo.
Throw off the time and get physical with them. I played on the Rams team when we had the greatest show on turf. A lot of speed, reminds me a lot of this Dolphins team. Dolphins got even more speed, but when teams got physical with us, like when I think about going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they disrupted, the Patriots in the Super Bowl. They disrupted the routes. They were in the face of our receivers. It throws off the timing. You look at this offense, it's based on timing and precision passing. If you do something to disrupt that, that'll force Tua to hold on to the ball a little bit longer. He's not the tallest guy, tallest quarterback. You want to throw off the time and disrupt his receivers. That's how you disrupt him.
Now let's pivot to the other side of the ball so our guys can get involved as well. We talked a little bit on offense, but one thing we didn't mention was B-Rob.
Yeah.
We've seen what he could do in the running game. We've seen what he could do as a pass catcher. What do you expect to see from B-Rob tonight, B-Mitch?
Well, I think they're going to try to get him involved because right now, B-Rob is a guy, at first when he was in the game, you knew they were running the ball.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, since he started catching it, you don't know. So you need to get him, they're going to try to get it to him early. And I think, like Santa said earlier about the offensive line, if the offensive line can get off and get them started, now they can stay with the run.
Yeah.
You know, if they don't have success early, most offensive runners will leave it. Yeah. So you want them to have success early.
Yeah, B-Rob one of those guys, man. You want him in one of these type of games, a nasty game. He's that kind of player. He plays with that kind of grit, that mentality. He's from Alabama, so he understands how to kind of, go out there and be intimidating when the way he runs the ball. But not only that, he can run the ball well for us in a situation like this today. He's a guy that's shown us that he can catch the ball at the backfield.
Yes.
So regardless of what way we need to use him, I think he's shown you that, hey, just give me the opportunity. I saw him in the hallway a couple of weeks ago after that Seattle game. I'm like, hey, you can do it all, huh? He said, bro, I'm a football player.
I love that.
So when a guy say that, man, hey, don't misinterpret what I do. You know what I mean? Just give me an opportunity. I'm gonna go out there and play ball. So I want to see him go out there because they got guys on the other side, Chubb or Wilkins. Those guys are gonna play with an intensity that I know he can match.
Yes.
And I want to see him be able to get the opportunity to show these guys it's gonna be a long day. If you think you can come here slow poking.
Yeah.
B-Rob is that type of dude.
Yeah, but in order to be, B-Mitch talks about, hey, you got to show him you can effectively run the football. Got to block Christian Wilkins.
There you go.
He reminds me a lot of Destin Lawrence.
Yeah.
Destin Lawrence, we know what type of problems he caused for us in those 2 ball games we played against the New York Giants. You got to get him blocked. This needs to be a game where you ugly it up, so to speak, on offense and defensively, running the football. It's got to be a mutter type game. If you get on the plus side of the 50, how aggressive are you going to be on 4th down? 4th and 3, 4th and 4th. You got to steal possessions too, and keep that Dolphins offense off the field.
Something we haven't done in a while, getting some turnovers. What I mean?
Exactly. So B-Rob, Antonio Gibson, those guys have to play a major part of this ball game.
And I think one of the most exciting things we've seen about this offense is anybody can get it done at any time. Last week we saw Curtis Samuel have one of the best games we've seen from him. Who do you expect to get off today? Who's going to be that X factor today, V-Mitch?
Well, I'm going back to that backfield. I think I'm going to go with both of them because I don't think it's just about B-Rob. I think also when AG comes in the game, he has the speed to be able to make somebody slip on this field and go the distance. So the running back crew, I think they're going to get off today.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the receivers, man. I think the whole core. I think one of the things that we've shown that we throw the ball around. It's always 9+ guys catching the ball. I think you're going to need that with this secondary. These guys going to be really, very challenging. They're going to play mind games. You have a guy in Ramsey. He's going to want to try to jump things. And so if you get a chance to get behind them, we have to make it count. We've been behind a few teams this year, and we haven't made it count enough. So you get a chance this week against a team like this, you make it count. Now, like I said before, we in the game because you might have to go blow for blow with these guys offensively.
Yeah. The X factor to me will be Logan Thomas. I think the tight ends will have an advantage with Logan Thomas in the passing game. You go back, I looked at some of the games that the Dolphins played. Some tight ends have been able to make plays against them. They find ways to find holes against this Dolphins zone defense. Or if they go man-to-man, he will have an advantage on Baker and also Long. So if I'm looking at Eric Bieniemy, hey, those 2 corners, Jalen Ramsey, Xavier Howard, those boys are two of the best in the league. I can get some matchups. I like my matchups against the tight end.
I like that matchup too, and I love having you as part of the show, London. Thank you so much, and again, congratulations on that honor, man. That's a big deal, man. We have no doubt you're going to be putting that gold jacket on real soon.
I appreciate it.
My boy.
Hey, that tone's been set, baby.
That tone has been set.
Bust my boy.
The tone has been set. You heard us mention Curtis Samuel and his amazing game he had on Thanksgiving Day. So it is time for our Air Power presented by Air National Guard, proud partner of the Washington Commanders. Now let's look at these Curtis Samuel stats. 47 receptions, second highest on the team. These are his season stats. 443 yards, which is also second highest on the team, and 2 touchdowns. Santana and London, you guys actually had Curtis Samuel on the show. How cool was it to talk to Curtis Samuel? What was it like talking to that young guy? I've had some fun talking to him too.
It's always great talking to Curtis. I mean, we had him on the Players Club, and one of the things that Curtis talks about is just his vibrant spirit. He's the guy that he's ready to dance. He's ready to light up the field. You know what I mean? And right before you know, he got injured, man, he was, to me, I told you he was honorable mention. He was that guy that was doing it all for us. So it was a great sit down with Curtis.
Yeah, man, it was a great sit down, and we have a clip just for you guys. Let's check out their sit down with our wide receiver, Curtis Samuel.
Here it is right here. Let's go. We got the Falcons. So, come on.
All the joints. He went out there.
We got to hit this back from the beginning. The play, the route, everything.
He went in the old school book, man, and said, I'm going to pull this thing out from the 90s.
I ain't going to lie. Like when we was in Atlanta, I'm like, I got to hit this one right here. Everybody joined I feel like that's when we playing at our best. When we enjoying ourselves, having fun. So I like to just dance because I feel like that brings excitement to everybody on the team.
What's up. Especially when you got it too, man. You got the moves, you know.
Yeah, I do, man. I ain't gonna lie.
At the beginning of this play, from his alignment, did you know this money?
This play. I mean, like you can't sit outside leverage on an end breaking route, especially on the red zone. You know, Logan did a great job of lifting coverage, and it was just one-on-one underneath.
Yeah, that's some great stuff, man. I love the dance, though.
I had this one planned out. I ain't gonna lie, I had this one planned out.
Nick Gates, though. What they call that dance?
Talking about
do it.
Yeah. Oh, that's what Gates was doing up there?
Yeah, we was practicing that all week. That's why he did it.
We be seeing Gates on the low, man. I don't know, is it Gates or Cosby? Some of them guys, they be out there.
Gates be hitting it. Gates is hitting it. I ain't gonna lie. Gates is hitting it.
Curtis, we like to have all our guests side the helmet, man. We appreciate you joining the show, man.
Having me. Thank you.
But as you get ready to sign that for us, we gonna see any more dancing from you the rest of the season?
Oh yeah, of course. I got to get back in that end zone.
Yeah.
Always great to see London, Fletcher, and Santana Moss chat with our current players each week on the Players Club. For the full episode, head over to Commanders YouTube page. Now, we're headed to break, but when we come back, it's the segment you all have been waiting for. That's right. It's B. Mitch's Big 3 Keys in this week's 13 matchup with the Miami Dolphins. Make sure you stay tuned to Command Center Game Day Live, presented by Northwest Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of the Washington Commanders. It's the only, that's right, you heard me, the only Commanders pregame show which has your field pass to the action. And we will not let you miss a moment, even during this commercial break. Stick with us.
Power Up Trail Mix has nothing to hide. We keep things uncomplicated and uncompromising. Straight from Mother Nature, our ingredients are picked at peak ripeness for an unparalleled taste. There's no better way to power up your day.
You're going to like this story because it's about you. You who forgot to charge your phone last night. You who sprints to the boarding line so your bag will fit. You with him. Until one day you boarded a United plane that was designed for, well, you. And your phone got charged, your bag fit, so did everyone else's, but this story isn't about them. Your toddler didn't tantrum and you got to fly happily ever after. The end.
Final stone of the championship.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary.
Roger, this is looking good.
We believe every moment in sports should be epic.
Are you watching this? Is that curling? Nah.
This morning's news, curling fever has taken over the world.
So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Hey, it's me, food. I'm so much more than just what we eat. I'm hand-cut, fresh and frosted. I love it. Aw, I love you too. See, life is always something new. All messy, frantic, and amazing. And from where I sit, you look delicious. That's why every day is worth celebrating. If you can. Stay fresh. Sincerely, food. Sincerely, Safeway.
Welcome back, Commanders family, into Command Center Game Day Live. Brought to you by Northwest Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of the Washington Commanders. Now, Northwest is celebrating Game Day and thanking Commanders fans with a $400 cash bonus when you open your first ever checking account. This is a limited time offer, so do not waste any time. Visit northwestnwfcu.org/Washington to find out how you can score that cash bonus with your new checking account. And remember, stop searching and go Northwest. Well, you don't have to search any further. You are looking at our guys just moments away. They are in their custom My Cause, My Cleats.
Yes.
Cleats. So cool to see that. This live look is brought to you by Verizon. Verizon, the network Commanders rely on. Brian Campbell Jr. here with Brian Mitchell, Santana Moss. Now, fellas, back in y'all day, they didn't necessarily have My Cause, My Cleats, but you both mentioned how cool it was.
In other words, you're calling us old, right?
No, I'm not calling
Well, they
you guys
had it
old.
in my last 2 years.
It's like he slipped in. Y'all do
Come on
both.
now.
I didn't even do
Come on,
you guys
PH.
like that. I didn't do you guys like that. So, Tan, I'm going to start with you since you
All right.
had a couple of years.
Yeah.
What would your cause be if you could represent a cause on your cleats?
So when they brought it out around the time I was getting long in the tooth, I didn't participate in getting anyone to paint a shoe up for me.
Yeah.
But my cause would have been my foundation. At the time, my foundation was just called the Santana Moss Foundation. And I was, doing some of the things I'm doing up here now with the 89 Ways to Give Foundation. I've always been contributing just back to the communities, back to the youth. You know what I mean? There's a lot of dreamers out there, and they feel that, most of the guys they watch or most of the people that they want to, they're inspired to be like, that they had some kind of, opportunity that they wasn't given. But I want to be there to show them that, look, I'm just like you. I sat in some of these same seats. I wore some of the same shoes. So that was my cause would have been about. And now that I see these guys, paying homage to some of the things that they're doing, it's just a great, opportunity for them to go out there and use this platform.
Yeah.
It would have been the same for me, because I believe in giving back to the community and trying to make sure young people know that they can do whatever they set their mind to. Also, I always work with the American Heart Association. My dad died of a heart attack, and I know the impact and the effect it had on me, and I wouldn't want anybody else to have to deal with that. My mom had breast cancer. So it's the same things I work with today, I would have probably been doing those things. I probably would have had a cleat with every charity out there on this day. Who's he really with? I just try to, when I'm free, I help.
Yeah,
no matter who it is.
And Commanders family, I will tell you, these gentlemen really do that, man. Everywhere they go, they're giving back. They're showing love. They're hugging babies and signing autographs, man. These are two really great gentlemen. And one thing you always give us, B-Mitch, is that big three, man. So I'm going to let you go ahead and take it away with B-Mitch's Big Three.
Well, we've been doing the Big Three matchup, but today it's going to be about the Big Three keys to this football game. Okay, I believe that you shouldn't turn the ball over if you want to win the game. But if you do, you have to win the turnover battle. Yeah. That's going to be my first one. Winning the turnover battle, we do that, we have a great chance to win this game.
All day. I love that one. Got to win the turnover battle.
And then we talk so much about giving up explosive plays. This team gets more explosive plays than anybody out there. If we can stop them from getting explosive plays, we will be in this football game and make them have to start to worry a little bit. If they're not just scoring a lot of points, they don't normally have great games.
We're the worst team on the defensive side of giving up explosives, and they're the best team offensively that's, with the most explosive plays. So something got to give, right?
Well, and then the last key for me, we've always talked about how this team can go up and down the field.
Yeah.
But we haven't been getting touchdowns. So I think we have to have some long, sustained drives that'll do twofold. We can take time off the clock. We keep their offense on the sideline. And if we end those drives with touchdowns, now all the favor goes to this side.
I'm all for touchdowns. I'm all for Joey Slice going out there putting his big toe in it like how Fred Smoot would have said. Any way possible, we need to put points on the board. Like I said before, this might be one of those Mike Tyson punch-out games where we got to go, blow for blow with Glass Joe Ja. We might have to do that because these Dolphins are going to put up points. They're just one of those type of offenses that no matter what going on, they're going to find a way. So offensively, we have to do the same.
I got a bonus one.
Oh, yeah, let's take it.
I always like
bonuses.
And this is one thing I've noticed with this team. We get down into the red zone, and that's when we decide to have penalties.
Yeah.
We cannot have those untimely penalties today. If you're playing against a team like Miami, they don't need help. They have enough out there.
Yeah.
When you go there, if you protect the ball and you make sure you don't turn it over and have the timeouts, have the penalties at that time when you're about to go into red zone, you're going to win this game.
Yeah.
If they go in there and don't have the penalties, those unnecessary times, this is the best chance.
So basically, you're saying you can't shoot yourself in the foot.
Yep,
Exactly.
There you go.
And Commanders family, that is B-Mission's big three. And y'all got to pay attention to those because 9 times out of 10, B-Mission hits all those on the money. You hear the cannons going, it means we are about to get away.
Time for us to go.
We are about to get up out of this cold. I appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Don't be too scared, B-Mission. We about to go have some fun now. But remember, Commanders family, we will be back for Command Center post-game live with Logan Paulson, myself, and Brian Mitchell, giving everything you need to know about this matchup against the Miami Dolphins. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us, and we'll see y'all post-game, baby. Let's get out this cold.